are correct there. Of course, the US-based doctors far better than virtually any other place in the world. But life is not just about economics. It is also about professional development. It is also about sacrificing to help your society. That is why, as you know, Nobatina Ghana for 2 years teaching at a medical school and taking about 5% of the salary that I was taking here at great cost to my family. But having said that, on the people who want to help the country to staff, and we should pay our doctors better. And there are ways that we can pay them better. And I, for example, when I was running for president, I said there, for instance, after somebody has served for a doctor for about maybe 10, 15 years, we should give them half of their pension supplemented with 10% payment by the government in appreciation of their service as a down payment for a mortgage for a house, which will pay for about half of it. And then over the next 10, 15 years, we will be able to finish paying for it. That facility should be extended to lecturers and nurses and other people like that, so that we look to their future financial security and their professional development. That is very, very important. I think there is a balance, and the young doctor at Confanoche says something that we should not ignore, and it doesn't mean he's selfish, because after all, Ghana and Kasakura last year, we sent some of our nurses to, what do they call it, some of the Caribbean countries, So if we did that, then why can't doctors go? But there needs to be a bidirectional pipeline, so that once some people leave, some can come in, so we can make it easier. And that can be another show for 1 hour about how to meet our manpower needs. But you raised also an important point about how we honor those who have served our country. Dr. Mustafa, Professor FRIMPONG, who is a friend of mine, we should venerate them. They have done outstanding things for our country. And the same thing, Professor Glitz, Professor Achampon, and Bedu, and other people. I think that when they do those things at the end, we should show more appreciation. So, for example, it got to a point where Dr. Mustafa had to step aside. We didn't need to embarrass him. We could have retired him in honor, giving him an order of the Volta, make sure we took care of his financial circumstances so that he would retire in comfort. We should have done the same thing for FRIMPONG Watson. And there was no need for the Bells administration to treat him the way that we did. All these are things that as a nation we need to address, so that going forward, it will not be regretful for people to give our country their best.
Now, what she said, Dr. Arthur Kennedy, and then Rante Kwan Kuma Bia, or we university where no course will be crowd Cocoyeno University or it me we now or politics as a vocation. Onsuya politics on she be now in a matter of couple of years. Now what did that dan for Land Cruiser Simu Ebi etototo if ya kese onia daje kura wode kwa koto eye cement any iron rods any blocks abesi dan straight away now wakwa koto dan onia no kura. It is a way a professional be medical doctor, physician assistant. Now will render such service to Ghana. Na sankwala we no it me benefiting from their activities within the political sphere. No, what does it tell the professionals almost from Ghana?
It tells them they're able in question, and that is not good. There is a very famous speech by Buzia, I think, to Legon Progress Party members. He went to meet them, and of course, these were young people. They have seen a politician. They were talking about getting into politics. Buzia said something very interesting. Okay, I'm going to disappoint you in what I tell you, but I think young people who leave school must develop profession and develop professionally. distinguish themselves in their careers before they get into politics. And I agree with Buzia completely. I think that we need to have people who are successful lawyers, medical doctors, accountants, pharmacists, other things, who then become politicians. Because ADAKABRI, hey, United States, 300 and so million people. They have only 100 senators. But I'm paid more than a United States senator as a doctor. And I'm not even a specialist. I'm a family physician. And so there are specialist physicians who are paid multiple times that of United States senators. Why? Because it is only Africa where people go into politics to make money. All around the world, people go into politics to serve. And see, we need to bring accountability into our politics. It is a bad example for our society. For a young man who has been out of university for 2-3 years, has never worked, has never distinguished themselves professionally, to follow politics for 3 years and own mansions and bank accounts and all that, that cannot be justified even if he lived on air for 100 years.
Yani Dr. ADAKABRI Kennedy and na aiding komo on varied issues Ghana. Now we talk about democracy, deepening it. Group of 95 members of parliament representing 80% of the parliamentary MPP stood behind microphones and then told the whole world, say, enoma bi enkoye ewo omo party, New Patriotic Party num, particularly Yenyi Finance Minister, and as Minister of State, Charles Dubuahin, Free Finance Ministry, that in itself, a restore confidence. Now, Akowie say, majority leader, who is not a signatory of the 95-member petition, facilitates a meeting with the president and comes out to issue a somewhat press release telling us there's been a truce. What do you make of such a spectacle?
Well, ADAKABRI first, like you and I have talked about that repeatedly. And for the MPP's anniversary about a year ago, I remember I wrote an opinion piece, Mawankasa, you highlighted a lot of the things I said. Respectfully, and I say it painfully, this is a failed government. Everybody knows it, except maybe the president when he is hallucinating. Now, it's not just that the finance minister is not doing well. 80% of the ministers in this government have not done anything worthy of their ministry and of their mandate. Of course, economics is central to everything. Now, it is astonishing then in the midst of this, President Boko Kumase then berate people there. You want to vote for NDC, you can do that. Then he goes on to talk about that. The educated 21st century civil rights lawyer, now president of the Republic of Ghana. I was sad listening to the president. And I sent inquiries to my friends in the government that, hey, now, old man, is he okay? I just couldn't believe it. Then a few days later, the Ochenhene even topped what the president did by remarks that should never come from a palace. And see, to return to the government, the MPP MPs, they have finally started doing what people expected them to do. God bless them, more grace to their elbows, and Chairman Sambonsu should start leading them and stop obstructing them.
What can be say? Na old man, is he okay? Me medical doctor. Na menye medicine who be a Grant's method of anatomy. Min kinkan kra NTB asum. But then the neurosurgeons will tell us, sir, edru baby on moi. Dementia, ye no. na set in. And there is a point about filters where bibi abebo wadwene mu bia wo ye senka wo beka no. O filters timika se we de nkwasi asem mamenyaka. O filters timika just we de asempa mamenka. Enti at this level and I say at this stage time ben and our filters no ubetimi lose track of it nsem hunu bia beba tiri mu bia no na untimi check na wo bie wa no na waka.
Well, I mean, to be fair, as a physician, I want to be careful not to pronounce on people I haven't examined. But in general, our executive functions or effectiveness declines as we age. And by the time you get to the late 70s, getting to 80, you are not as sharp intellectually as you used to be. Of course, which is why we bring in retirement and how people need to step aside in all professions. And if you look around the world, there are politicians, let's not even be controversial, so let's step away from that. People like to have Trump and Biden and Nancy Pelosi, who are kind of a little advanced in age. And sometimes they say things that make people feel like, whatever he said that, I think that part of the explanation might be that as a result of dementia related to age, their filters and other faculties don't work as well as they used to. That is not to say that that is happening to the president. I haven't examined it. For example, Mahathir Mohamad is almost 100, and he's as sharp as anything. Konrad Adenauer was in his 90s and a wonderful chancellor of Germany. And we need to be careful not to generalize. But the president's comments were concerning. Another explanation for the president's comments that we should look at might be that I have always advocated that the Ghanaian court, the same, and we cater too much to the Western African South. In fact, one of my most profound conversations with my friend Gabby about Nanado was that I said that I told him, and part of it fell into my book, that the love that the so-called Chebi Mafia had for Nanado was admirable. I mean, that family makes me jealous. One of them will fall on a grenade for everybody. They are just like the Bush family. But I told him that sometimes love means telling the person, no, you shouldn't do this. This is bad for you. I fear that both in that family and within the MPP, we spend a lot of time spoiling Nanado. That given his natural inclination, if he had had effective, reasonable, principled support, both from his family and from his party, he would have been perhaps the greatest president in Ghana's history. Let me tell you something. One day, with Nanado alone, he told me something. Okay, tell me there, Kennedy, I don't like the presidential system. Let me understand why. Also because it gives too much power to one person. Also, I like the prime ministerial system because the prime minister is not supreme. He is only the first among equals. I'm almost quoting him verbatim. This is Nanado.
That is the primus inter pares principle.
Yes, that's Nanado. Also, I'm very uncomfortable with one person wielding so much power because that was Nanado talking to me.
It is awesome because could it be, say, we never got to appreciate the real Nanado until now that he's confronted with the situation he is in now, or one who say what dear Kunyanewi and you know the real Nanado Nana?
Well, we need to be careful. When there, part of it is also that, like I said, we are all selfish. And see, when we are removed from checks and balances, we all tend to devolve to our worst habits. Somebody like Nehru, who publicly berates the Indian Congress Party for not challenging, are very rare. Most leaders are a little certain. I think that we should be careful about saying that was the rare Nanado. I think the rare Nanado was also the young lawyer who left PMSD, the lawyer who left in the press, who had good tendencies. I think that he maybe should have had more firm principled support that would have accentuated his positive qualities and pushed down the bad qualities. And I think that, yes, part of it is on him, but part of it is also those around him, both in his family and in his party, and then in the government, because there are a lot of things that Parliament could have done maybe that would have made him, in my view, a better president. Because to be fair to him, somebody who shall remain nameless told me in 2006, also, I have known Kufuor for 40 years, but the Kufuor who is president, I'm not sure I know him.
Nti Uka Kufuor, and I wish the old man is left to continue to celebrate Ayana Theresa. I will Odin birthday this week. Nka aja akokora nanka obutubutu na yire ho sa nanka ode enkutu etwetwe no. But then let me ask, Kufuor in 2007 prophet some advice was saying was enipa wo mo behwehwe no amana lead MPP shouldn't be obi a oye full of tension na sa nipa no omunya ne wie na ma omunni sikachi na akokɔ de yɛde aburo ɛna yɛde gu ɔnom ɛma ɔbɛsoso a na saa akokɔ no yɛde kɛntɛn abua no so ɛnɛ so ɔde toto ho kura sɛ dollar ɛfa ɛyɛ politicians a ɔmo free sɛ yɛba bɛkɔ presidential primaries ɛno nti wɔn pɛ ɛyɛ dollars de agu hɔ na wɔn pɛ dollars ne gu hɔ no mo a na kyɛ sɛ wɔn sesa dollars ne kɔ cedis a na delegates no yɛtumi amu ɔmo sika emu oduro if it's $1 na timi asesa itu omu bu omo ani se ba ye ma dollar na akwa akodru 10 and say bank manager for so akromfo a ye ka ho omu so take advantage of politicians na adwene enom se saa e de yesu be beat nkrofo yi and say je dru 10 ya etifa so a ene number bi ene nam ya age wo omu nsam yi enti Kufuor then coming back to paraphrase or say otimi so be di akonwa no otimi nso so be di part na nimu a one hwe se obeso party no ye na onsan fama party no onfama nipa no a obe abetoa no so no in one whole piece and then ushia Kufuor a obe congratulate no on those faithful words or otaye in 2007 ana.
Yes, I would. And he was very prophetic. Of course, none of us is perfect. I have said that before, that I think Kufuor could have managed the 2007-2008 transition better. But having said that, that particular quote that you referred to was excellent. And Kufuor has always been a party man who cares very much about the party, who always talked about balancing the factions in the party, making sure there is peace. Generally, Kufuor is a man who doesn't exacerbate tension. And so you need to do that to him. Obviously, I wish that there were things that he has been able to do in his governance. But let's not even digress. I think you have surfaced the role of money in our politics, the money crisis. And I think that it is one of our foundational problems. So when we started this conversation and you asked me about the Temapote, I told you that corruption was at the core of our problem. So I think, ADAKABRI, honestly, that corrupt parties cannot beget honest government.
Corrupt party cannot beget an honest government.
Yes. When you have party primary process that are so corrupted that positions are openly for sale, we just refusing to acknowledge that even DC and MMDC, we saw the positions hot right in front of our eyes. Just a few months ago, people were paying money and they were not even making a secret of it. There, when they finished and they didn't get the position, we had enough money, ADAKABRI, up to even Supreme Court judgment about election petition. People talking openly about this party sent the money, that party sent the money, and the Supreme Court, which was willing to jail Sir John for a few unguarded remarks, was silent when people were talking openly that they had sold the judgment. These things are dangerous to our republic.
Very, very dangerous. But as to whether we would refrain from that. Now, let's talk about sanctions, punishment in the core of stemming corruption. Uko Hong Kong, Uko Singapore, the word corruption, it appears to have been expunged from their lexicon. Actually, will be a person corrupt, and Hong Kong, you be trying minute, and now Singapore, you be trying minute. So, and you bet me, ama sanctions, punishment, at the center of stemming corruption.
You make an interesting point, but when you start talking about sanctions, you lost half of the fun because sanctions are corrective. We need to talk about prevention. And actually, by the way, it's not just about Hong Kong. You know that Xi Jinping just got a third term as leader of China. His main term, the reason why he has consolidated so much control over the party, is fighting corruption within China. He has ruthlessly fought corruption. And China, they are rising. There were 3 pillars, and now they are losing maybe one of them. The 3 pillars were capitalism, meritocracy, and checking corruption. But that is for another conversation. In our circumstances, my friends who are accountants like Obide Kasamos and Timothy, he always says that, when you talk about jailing people for corruption and all that, it means that you are only catching a few of the criminals. The thing is to employ systems that will prevent the corruption. And actually, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, in reforming the unreformable, he talks about what they did in the oil industry, put in checks and balances, increase transparency, publish the revenues, in such a way that by the time she was leaving after a few years as finance minister, Nigeria had reserves of almost 60 billion from their oil revenue, which was unprecedented. The key is prevention. And in my view, the prevention must focus on bringing transparency and accountability to things like corporate.
You are suggesting we should not. You are suggesting we should downplay sanctions and punishment.
I didn't say that. I said that we should emphasize prevention. And I'm about to tell you some of it. For example, whenever we find out that something is a problem, like we say, public contracting for roads and other things, there's a problem with this, let's do public procurement authority. Has it worked? We need to look at whether it has worked and why. What percentage of our contracts are given out sole sources? What percentage of our contracts are given out preferentially? What does Parliament do about those things? When we find out, for example, that a young man who just worked for 3 years in government and his total salary in that 3 years will be maybe 100,000 Ghana, owns a $2 million house. How did he get that? And then things like using whistleblowers to recover some of those assets and reward them. So my point is that punishment is important, but prevention matters. For example, I want policemen. The reason why U.S. police are by and large not corrupt, it's not that they are not completely corrupt, by and large. ADAKABRI in U.S., when a policeman stops, there is a camera on the dashboard of his car that starts reporting the encounter. And so you know the bribe to be on that camera. So we need to move apologies to Paulia, use very harness technology in the role of prevention. For example, asset declaration. If you have been in office for a year and you didn't declare your assets, that should be prima facie evidence that you are corrupt. Because if you are not corrupt, why wouldn't you declare your assets?
Okay. Enti ma yenhwe the brand MPP na yemfanwie. But before then, a group of 95 MPs Obi can say they are being assailed. They are being persecuted. Nipa bi ashase describe woman as Judas. And Obi can say wunim de wo madwenem. November 10, Parliament, a motion brought about by the minority. There will be a vote, a secret one indeed. At table, normal 7 against the finance minister. Now, in a year, sa nipa 95 MPC, ye persecute omo. Na ye tron some share woman. Na ebikura turn around. Everybody kind of publicly say yes, there is a genuine truce between you and the president. If there is a genuine secret voting, can we be so sure? Say MPP for be Nkonko can NDC for no Nkonko vote to censure the minister and sack him consequently. And if that happens, na MPP womo conduct womo SNE.
We should hail the 95 victory. The Judases are those who destroyed the economy, not the 95 who are trying to correct it. We should defend those 95. They are finally doing what we expect MPs to do. And if they join in censoring the Minister of Finance, they will have done their patriotic duty. They are the people trying to save the country. Otherwise, Nanado and those people who are just singing his hallelujah chorus, they are taking the country over the cliff.
Into the brand MPP with a cliche say, we have the men, we have the men, we have the men. And they move me a jina baby, I can say MPP to Abamayen. Now we have the men. We are better at solving Ghana's economic woes at any stage. Anna.
We can't say that, but it's not because we don't have the men and the women. It's because we didn't use the men and the women. Because of factionalism and vindictiveness.
Factionalism and vindictiveness, you didn't use the men, you didn't use their talent, and that has affected the brand MPP. Is that where you find yourself now?
Absolutely.
In Tianya Day.
If you pick 2-3 other presidents, they could have put together different cabinets that didn't include any of those in government now that will have performed far better. The president knows it. A lot of people know it. This one, you be shown where power lies. That is why the party is in the gutter now.
But then so a year MPP. Na the president modern brain she Adwasafo debacle. How long it took? And a single decision say Adwasafo mayinedi. Afena bibi aso atwa. And then Ken of Rata Tin. What style of leadership and MPP for Modi Abraya as a president, leading from behind?
Not from behind. He must always be caused by events to act. His biggest defect as president is that he is not decisive. Apart from, of course, not picking a good cabinet. He is not decisive.
So that is to do.
Ken should have gone long ago. There were a lot of scenarios and a lot of ways to ease him out, and like I have said, he's not solely responsible for our problems, but he should have left because the direction he had championed and the fact that he has been the face of the government whose economic policy has failed made it imperative that he leave. And that should have been done a long time ago.
Crack. Na ubeti ewo Uteka FM. Se menya na mebe sonsa se beto aba eva ma MPP. Se wo so beto ama NDC a ujejirije wa wasem. As if that was not enough. Na koko gina swami. Ai mu amu keka me ho nsempa no. Je se opese koka se mu nka me ho nsempa no. But by divine intervention, was a more coming home sempano. Monim be guiase, Marco, and Echina, and Nadichie. What went through your mind? Sadness.
I hope that the president can reflect and come back and apologize to the public for the way he talked to them and the disrespect that he showed. And furthermore, that the Ochenhene would also
reflect. Doc, may I asuneni and Miss Miura and Ochenhene. Indeed, fetch me. No further comments on him. A drew baby, na Mua Yakakranti, asuna for one fetching and why. There was a
why. So you are going to tell him that in private or what?
I'm going to tell
accountable as ADAKABRI.
I may catch a year a Josohine. Na mafre a year Manso Quantahine. Na mafre a year Beposohine. Na a year and Nianomono ne were fasifono. Yebeka Cotinase, a war Afrano Kese, a year Assasso. Na ya can be channel, but publicly Senka or Fumu Ekumpua. Asuna Forsono, young from Enya. Into Nana de Chemi, Yanko Canadam.
What's my brow?
Yo, and to December, may you any more near Messin Quay, I wore a year December saying.
Said,
I wore a year a chrono, somebody DMBM.
A sable a mansundo.
A sable a mansundo, and a year wouldn't your penny near friend is saying.
Quakubenyan.
Quakubenyan Kakari, a year while what I say, and now say, Woba, a bonzi Kakari, ne papa.
Oh, yeah, no core.
Why, yeah, Tiabashuanim, Nayakwa no Musikasa, Yanko Ponka, Dr. Kennedy. Right. 18. I Yana Asuna for Yabefre or Hene. Ewo a year Afrano Kese, Ahim Fie. Na Yafre Manson Quanta, near Frebe Posso. Na Yatnase, Nasuna for near Kansam. And Yasuna for Yafiasam to Abonte and Canasa. The Mumfan chain, Yanko Kansam or Demoniamra. Nipa ya yebe defending, or no way you could need. Yasuna for the Yesimus and yebe defending Yokofui. Iti ayokofuaso enko defend yokudi no asanitano memu atnase
mejo sofa
Ivan Samu ozu ko deputy general secretary edi na se ebakoba se otuko no deputy otuko no general secretary na Ivan Samu as your deputy general secretary what could be the forte of the NDC? Don't give me an answer.
We'll come on with a big news. They're very near Bano.
I like this one.
They're very near Bano, near Begane.
I don't give an answer.
Now, Wama, now, no, Tosunanka,
don't give an answer. Yanni and Esther so a member of the MPP, and Yeba Bedrini and Semi Enina. And not John Dramani Mahama, Wakasa. Na Ghana man penny, 1 year penny so, or Bacasa Quasiada. ade ani expectations na ye nyina ye hwehwe say Ghana ebedi enti ye nyina ye nte aso na ye ntie
FRIMPONG Needs FM.
Yen nananom asonafo twa adwon hye mo na nana osei agema abusua to abese no efri se ba mu owuo de ne kentenkrenchi abefa afia mo bosoma durada ni nsu ba mu owuo de ne nase nsu mambra abefa nana osei agema ejapa obon pentin kwa gbadi dudwetre de ma ne ma enka japan na wi anasa nanso ba mu owuo na yesa chade de ani mafade okuafo pe owuo ama ye mpenyina sa ofutu fo mapa na enne waka nanu atum se de ofa bufuo no asem bia de bone ye ntabuna kasuoja nana osei agema bema kwansuro bema obedum onumonyamfo se neba mu owu aboahwe na sase ya mponyina mo ejeje utata ye mo premprem asiebra ye ma odamiri fadu asebre otuo serebo otosumienu eye dwabeman hene nana akosu achama eye dwabeman hema osofo Johnson eye asabi abusuapanyi ewo dwabe nana ajei jedu kumani eye dwantoafo hene ewo dwabe Dr. Kofi Buayite ewo yentumi Buayite hospital ewo Kumase Mary Buayite adodo na afre no nana adiya ewo dwabe Mrs. Mercy Eunice Chei eye CEO ewo Buayite and Associate Insurance Brokers and one crapmpuni man temnimu Mrs. Charlotte J. Wakwati head of chambers 12 Old Square ewo UK oba penyi akua sewa ajiman ochechire ni akona homigye mu ewo dwabe adwa echampoma adodo na efre no adwa baby eton cement ewo dwabe Dorothy sewa adodo na afre no obaya business woman ewo Kumasi Railways osei Buachi set adodo na afre no Sama chechire ni ewo Asante man temnimu ene asona abusua a amoye asabifo ewo Asante dwabe Dumakwai Kofodua nenkran ede ya oni arewo ese omanfo nyina yese amo papa amo nua bema amo ofa ene amade nyina Mr. David Nana osei agimaya na otiati asefasa asisuo no na hotedin ene osei agimaya no papa atwa nananamo ensiedo na papa nya mfinhia no aduoson ensia me kire 76 years na abusua kire mu se October boso me ne de toso aduonu nkron amo be de papa ewo bama so ewo house number JB123 abesim dwabia ene wa santeman ni mu amo de da no ewi amo be ma no so akopene krabe ewo dwaben cemetery amba betena se ewo adubu ahepaka edo dwabena ewo asantemantem na amba be no papa sikasa edikan ne kwasie da me kire October boso me ne de toso aduasa amba ko papa ena ase som ewo Church of Pentecost eno ewo dwaben daman amu firi ho ba amba betena se ewo adubu ahepaka na amba be no papa sikasa etwato ema oja wona kire wondi ene didi soi Derek Osei Ajiman senior cyber security analyst ewo US Desmond Osei Ajiman geotech engineer ewo Vision Consult Limited wo Accra Jerry Osei Ajiman Centroni ewo NIT FM despite media wakra Gifty Osei Ajiman eni ninuanom Doreen Osei Ajiman BSN registered nurse ewo US Dolly Osei Ajiman midwife ewo Wenchi Methodist oni ninuanom Elder Yao Ajay Mensa chairman All Traders Association ewo Enkrapumpuni mantemne emu akurafo oja wo kire wondi na didi sui Joyce Veronica Fokuo kire ni ewo Methodist school eno dwaben ena Hana Opoku enso ewo dwaben abusuani abusuanka yese baabi obi awu no bi na sara nso na yi ohoi nkojankoja ne senti ebra ne so a mo ye motwi ne anyi trede ne mbeja mo na mo mpra mo papa chi kurakura
catch it. List ni nie. Enyoma beto to dia me baba no ho ade no. Hwem so betumi a. Asew. Na obeka. Ya jontuma miensa duku potomanto. This way chocolate drink. Na kan wo hwe afibia so beri ni waware ne a. This way chocolate drink. Na kan sia. Asew. Udan kwanu ntumu ho. Me be mo anu nso hye kura de aka ho. Wo hwe de wapi ho. O ka sa batete. Eda fom ho. This way chocolate drink.
Kra cha be baba ware.
Asew.
Ye fi ase this way chocolate drink. Sorry no pa no ne yenom ye bi hwe fridge nom no se snack ye nya hoho a no ne de serve wo mo ye didi wie ne ye pe bibia bogu ya de so a this way chocolate drink ne yenom and this way no ti anu a he se kire wom kokko wom brick wom bibia wom ade wo hia ne so se
this way chocolate drink
de wo hia ani so se
FDA ahwe se adwede nkrato mo agya to se eye
Qatar 2022, here we come. The Black Stars of Ghana, Sayabio, Germany 2006, Yakoi, Peace, 1-0 for the 3. Yeah, the commentary, Ebrel, and what you know South Africa, Brazil, Qatar do so. Yes, I go for commentary and him at the Abra Peace FM. Hello FM at Tiafoina. And Cranconia Jodifua, who pass a muboma de Tondia Hudero. Oh, Bumra Peace FM. Namufam Humba Bata World Cup 2022. Qatar. Yeah, the live commentary. I move him a mauno. Now, yes, I'm for what Tonio Mama. You baby World Cup. Now I order for Ghana for Jodifua. Move on to Mambo Peace FM. Dianwe. Now you for Qatar 2022 World Cup. So, and Tomamu. So, when you so before Kwenye so. Now, what boy did Tondia Hudera. Brapis FM office and ya Nayama package Ebema Nyomano and Sutokra.
Needs FM.
Neat 100.9 FM Sunni. Now, and then a Friday, October 28, 2022. And time just about gone, a minute past 3. In the studios, Ura and Estada Day of the MPP. Ura Ivan Samu of the NDC, aspiring Deputy General Secretary for the upcoming elections. And Ura Yasanitano, he is the political analyst group. Na yetie John Dramani Mahama, Ninsema Wakanye Ewo UPSA. We expect to hear President of the Republic coming Sunday. Ninyina munu se yeriya se Ghana ebediye. Yaw, what are your thoughts?
Opinion medasi. Amenfa koyen so na menchia tiefo ni ahwefo nyina. Na menchia Ghana man. Ofa before the main issue no, I can say anopay I joined my good friend Chief Bine and
Vice President.
Yes. A few group a number of people. Nanka, it was a one-man picketing demonstration. Thankfully, we had a sizable number, not too much, but I think the number that we had, was enough for the police to do the best for the demonstration that happened this morning. It was a peaceful walk, I should say, and we did it peacefully. Then presented a petition to the Vice President's office. So mo ba ina ebebo mo abaso police for no ebebo mo abaso pa na ade a mo ye no mo ye ade ma ne so obeni nti ye demo nyina mo ase ye ko amagana ofa opanyin bi sende me bi write up be based on topic na wabisa me no ofa ye wura Mahama na asem na oka no and I'll quote or read it or say Mahama exhibited excellent statesmanship with temperate language, making salient recommendations that require expansion. I pray Nana Addo embraces the recommendations with no long talk and also acts on the commitment to review ESBs and allowances for Article 71 persons, as well as aspects of the Constitution that deprives us of growth, national consultations, and savings as a country. Those who have ears, let them hear. It is my expectation that the Ura Mahama Ekayan, Excellency the sitting President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, would piece them together and revise his notes on what he intends to tell us this Sunday. Now, Ura Mahama, so the Obekayan points to the fact, or in my own analysis, tells me, say, the Fourth Republic, plus a few other groupings who, adjudicated over this country, that is Buzia and the military government, with the exception of Kwame Nkrumah, Liman, and Achampon, the rest have failed us to a very large extent. Why do I say so? His Excellency the former President Mahama, a proposal to indigenize our wants and then our consumptions. And to indigenize it, the only thing we can do to ensure we have indigenized our consumption and what we want is to till our lands. His Excellency the former President John Dramani Mahama shouldn't forget that his father, A.E. Mahama, was in charge or was tasked by Achampon to take care of the Mensiri fields, the rice field, and then the Botanga rice field. And like I mentioned some time back, a brony a morning no man ne papa and nam ne so sika ekoji buy targeted omudi duaye irrigation systems omoye ho boreholes ahoro na omudi irrigate certain part of the fields no they are still in existence and are viable. And this all kind of idea. I want to believe, say, this time around, if he gets the opportunity to come back, he would ensure, say, state farms will be the order of the day. It shouldn't be just state farms, but there should be state farms backed with mechanized systems, sir. At the farm gate, you can turn the produce around and add value to it. Dear Ura Mahama Ediabetu Jan. For instead of chastising him, we should applaud him because he said one what would be described as a fence. So, contributing a quota as a former president to the discourse of this country, and making so many proposals and suggestions as to what we can do to get ourselves out of this particular situation. First of all, we must understand, sir. The current president, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, and his group came with that vindictive tendencies to, as it were, not to lead the nation, but to reclaim something they call so-called lost glory of a particular family. And no, and Ediye Abedu Babia Yedu, Tintin, Pesaman Kumenya, Yana Nanke, Sassi Digana so, Yananke Sassani Jifahudi, and Obi Babeji, Entia Bedie. The assassin ya fata bia ya busuana nim beteno and only a this is what has gotten us to this point. I ain't ya can send bia another Danko Akufo-Addo or Ninen Crawford, they don't want to listen. Offer. So okay, kind the last 7-year development plan of Dr. Nkrumah. A move 1.5 years Krawanko, I the palm the free Ghana. One magana beam, ni frun buy no. You will be sad. No man no work kuchira buha anka Ghana yedi ye ho shemu anka beboa. Indeed, Mills Mahama administration mobile no. They saw the need to commission National Development and Planning Commission NDPC. And I'm happy to say, sir, I was one of those political individuals who were selected to join the team in going around across the country to have a debate with the chiefs and people, businessmen, school children, all over tertiary institutions and the farmers. And we had it across the 16, the regions then. I think 12 regions at the time. We taught almost everywhere. Yewura Nimoy Thompson and Dr. Kwesi and the former statistician, something they were Grace Bediako. Yes. And other eminent people. Of course, people were selected from all the political parties that mattered. The MPP and co, they were part of it. We went around, we solicited for views and ideas based on natural resources, a war, important, and a normal. Now, yes, 7 year instead of 7-year development plan, a 40 years development plan, which under Nin Moy Thompson and Dr. Kwesi at the time of previous administration led by Mahama Amisata left government. Free government, it was His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo and a present man, a finished copy. As we speak today, nothing has been done about the 7-year development plan. Now, dear be a offer, you need to, I know, probably you are aware of it, but I think, sir, I have to mention it here. And say, making can be for regarding our development, and I'll read. U.S. Army exploring Savannah region for lithium deposit minister, and it reads: the Savannah Regional Minister, Mr. Muazu Jibril, has disclosed the United States Army is exploring the region for lithium deposits for the manufacturing of batteries to support their communication systems. The move comes in the wake of a visit to the United States of America by a delegation of chiefs led by Buipeura Mahama Abdullahi Jinapo II and some government officials to woo investors in the diaspora to the Gonja land to create job opportunities for the teeming unemployment. If you are going to the diaspora, What is your business in allowing the U.S. Army to exploit our lithium? I don't know. Have they
exploration doesn't mean they have found anything.
U.S. Army has no business.
Once you say exploration has no basis, say you're exploiting.
Ghanaians can explore or exploit the how do you call it, the lithium. The United States Army has no business in coming to exploit our lithium. And you end by saying that you are going to the diaspora to woo investors. Must the US be the people to exploit our lithium? Don't we have competent people on the African continent who can come and bring their expertise for us to mine our own lithium and add value to it and sell it to them?
Exploit oil deposits.
At a certain point, allow the indigenes themselves to also explore. When the country said the indigenes cannot put together, get a syndicated loan and get the necessary technology to, explore our oil.
Is that simple?
It should be simple. We have lent ourselves to them to use us. That is why we seem to feel that it is so difficult. They are humans just as we are. Probably we are even more intelligent than them. The machines are there. Let's get them. And look, I have a problem with this national maths and science quiz, not in its form, but in a context. When we say we have left out national maths and agriculture, whatever, national maths and arts something. It is only the science, agriculture go, the other aspects go. And we are running with only national maths and science quiz. But we are not exploring those areas. Until lithium, it is one of the most important mineral resources in every country, in fact, in the world. If you're looking for where lithiums are, there are a few countries that you can find lithium. Now Ghana has it. We have everything. We have no reason to be poor. But lack of knowledge, lack of principles and thinking to ensure, say, young Kasa as Africans will come together to explore our mineral resources, harness it to help ourselves. No, we are not doing it. In fact, we did not even look for any other investor to come and do the exploration than United States Army. Agriculture is the way to go. As His Excellency, the former president said, we should indigenize we should grow rice, we should grow maize, sorghum, etc., and ban the importation of same. And ensure, say, Ghana, you bet me I'm making a lot of us. You've been talking about trade surplus from Dr. Dunphy. And other economists have said it. What brought about the trade surplus? And what has made it dwindled? The trade surplus came at a time that maybe probably you thought, say, from 2017, 18, 19, the buffers of the economy were still standing. To the point to say, my trade surplus. Any hobby. You cannot tell me, say, it is
oil, any gold, any other raw material.
Exactly.
For 6-year period, I'm a trade surplus. They must be drew Ghana dollars no.
Exactly.
So as soon as if for as a repatriate.
I was about to tell you, say, you cannot tell me, say, it is a 1-to-1 factory. The oil exportation, Sanka Yakropo, diabolics, any Timodin, any young can't say a Bema talk right after refining, and even the trade surplus will be even higher. We are no fewer. Sir, a year exporter, a minor trade surplus. Why has it dwindled? Why? It means some crophobia, baby.
But the principle is you are exporting more than you are importing.
Exactly the case. So why did we falter again? We are importing more than we can export.
We are not exporting more than we are not importing more than we can export. There's still the trade surplus. But Sikani be dra what the year then, and you can expand further.
Yes.
So that will be to export-led growth strategy.
Yes, but you see, before we got the trade surplus, we had before left us one well, oil well. His Excellency, the former President Mills Mahama, Mr. Administration added 2 more, right? So it brought a boost in the system in terms of export. And you say, "Obimu bejina baby no muka say, bresu na yenya trade surplus." You should get the historical antecedent where these things come from. Now, also would be account. And I'm saying, say, if we go into state farms, the trade surplus will even be higher. And like you are saying, when the monies come, it is important to invest it in the productive sectors so that it can pay for itself. At least under Mahama, if I want to do comparison, in terms of where monies were invested for the monies to get returns, you can compare NPP's government to Mahama's administration. I'm not saying that the NPP government hasn't done anything, but where investment has gone, for which returns are coming or it is paying for itself, no, they are there. You can talk of the UGMC, many other regional hospitals were there. You can talk of a friend, Tuabu Gas, one of the biggest example we can, assuade to. You understand? Into what fact? SSC making deliberate efforts to ensure, say, we are your number one. In normal, we have a comparative advantage in this country. No, young Kasayanya, na young ban those things. Yeah, we're gonna need to make up Nigeria, Emma Omunya and Mo in terms of production and a bean seeder. Can't we use the expertise of that Ghanaian and ensure, say, you better and your bubble sani ya cocoa? Of things are not adding up. So, in my view, what Omampani Mahama Akan, it is also a challenge to him. Says, only opportunity no, but that's why implementing what he claims now. No, and just say, and I am planning a better no. The Mumbai me say me tukoha. Omampani Mahama also doom so by and honor me many of my friends from the MPP. And now most of me a bad person, me NDC. So be it. But I mean that's how the communication system is. So we are saying, say, you try more invest in the productive sectors.
Yaw asanitano ana otene no. Ya wodi no nim ba bi free
of a me free session. Pio pa both father. Okay. But my chipa e be free enough for baby.
Okay.
No I guess
my grandfather.
Okay. It's asanitano no. Ya no akwa explore the history of the people of Bichim. Na aye esutano. Ene komfo asani. Ya no akwa explore. That in my country why?
Oh, what kind man here now yes you ma there be mineral commission. Mineral commission. Something boa for Reverend boa for something like that.
That's actually.
Me call the office no say ya tado ya bosom big crab bosom kesi. Na some of kind. I was really.
Yeah, me chira oda. And then the mini bre. Na me nya bre no ma chira. No akọ.
Ai wo fa me nchia wo tiefo. Na nra yewura Mahama ene ato force ma yehu say economy ye manage ye ntena ho ye sign check. Because no BBC said being a finance minister, you only issue checks by government. They say no, it goes beyond that. It's a pure technical work. That's where economists can project, say, by the next year, by this. You hear Kwame Nkrumah 7-year development plan. It was a projections. Until I am Bissam who say, you will cook for. I've been recently. I am to say we know how to face it. How can you know how to face it? Until the economy is managed, we don't just do anything anyhow. Until Ghana for can say, ye Euro can for your 10 few. And yes, be a Ghana form Panasem, and I say Panasem. Euro Mahama's former president can say you for your 10 few because he liked the technical know how. For your economic management is about issuing checks, signing government checks. Who so be a year no or develop tasks. Last year, when we go for the car fine, we say we develop last year tasks, not their back. Or here more money, hey, they say more money go for you, for tasks in coho. That's what the Forata knows how to do. But the economy should be managed. All these tasks, no sign tax in some money penny. The master is divide Ghana. But the back me GD say, open say, you downsize an organization. I believe for rapid development and I said rapid processing. Say ammonium koso until you downsize it. Until obey divide Ghana. And I'm when you be oh you Mahama my 2 additional wells. Until Ghana nya 3 wells. And we can use that money to develop our roads and our infrastructure. And yes, sir, you Mahama the Ghana gas aba until we are having an additional revenue. Oh, you are marry a plant in 2 years' time. I beg Ghana dear until we can earn some money from that supply of electricity. No, these are the areas that Ghana should have raised money from. Oh, Yerua Mahama has opened ports, so we can have additional. Seaports, they have done expansion. That's the way governance is done. But it's not just like you look at areas that are flourish. Now what tasi. Internua. Say na ubisa say what do we expect from the president to Sunday no? And Yerua Mahama, he lay bare the challenges and he console Ghanaians. I like the way he presented it. Omagana fo akoma to mu yem. Atofo sen mini atofo sen so di ni me hina to akwam se ye be ni say ye ni say ya ebe sana finance minister ye. No metra as a matter so is it 5 pesos or so. One time when we reduced it was 5 pesos. You remember? Or tifu us by 5 pesos. You see, information asymmetry. What is killing us now is information asymmetry. Despite there is existing stock, the government has to provide leadership. Government has to provide leadership. Nama niememu and sanitize. Si onyi ken efuriata oyi numpa ono kwa bema nieme bi out of form kakra nti esre no. You should hate what our friends from NDC, Yerua Mahama, any autonomous, any abetoto no. Now they should input it into economic programs. You know? I don't know if they have any economic program they are following. Into how ni atete men kasapi na Yerua NDC penifo ebie so akire Kufuado na ban.
Na ade a moye ye no fasode wo ho ne sen.
Fasode wo ne se pese hu se economy ye manage ye rane. Ne ye ne se pese eboa ban ne se ekwan we ofaso a ebeboa. Ye pese Ghana fo ehu se there is still hope. And you said that's the last there's no hope. Ebi kra so no kwa homa. Ebi fa no kwa. And we have to let Ghanaians know that there is hope at the end of the tunnel. And this is by name of Bessa. Ye buy in pa and now mess are by way creating. And ye person Ghana 40 years. There is hope. And the economy is managed. In Crawford air castle can over. Struggling, and when I'm here, you now for your talk around there, I just don't understand the kind of person he is. Also, won't call IMF, what I am, that alone should compel you to resign. Excuse me to use this. If you are morally upright, what would you want to say when you here? It compels you say, Uber is as a minister because what they are doing, you disagree. British Prime Minister, when they were going for this Euro, they want to exit from Euro community. No? When they saw he resigned. Come on, he resigned. He doesn't. That policy doesn't sit with him. Once you are not going for. And Ghanaians are talking. Bible, you say, no, I know I didn't know you didn't do Mokoakawa. Ghanaians are talking. You are resign, or resign when you're dying. Oh, who said when you listen yesterday, don't you see the man like the technical know-how? Nieman Koye. Apart from saying Kasa Wankasa, we were leader of an organization. Company Nigu. My F4 being shown said it is normal, and I have a problem with President Kufuado too. You were a leader. That's why the constitution give you power to hire and fire. The objective of this system of government says you have that opportunity. You can change things. And baby, of course, if you can now say, "Name be nkoya," no what's say name fast. So what we are, one torsa just to manage the stabilize the situation. So what you come now we name be nkoya. You just change things to stabilize. Papa, best on you say near kwa yenkonkwa. Na yenkonkwa the accident neighbor. When a yakudruno. Ebi edruno, yenkonkwa. Ahone edruno. Enti ne ye pese ye magana phone crash. Niema Ghana 40 years says the economy can be managed. The Ghanaian economy can be better off. Now leadership na high.
Right. Ora Ivan Samu, aspiring Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, and I was telling you know. Earlier on, there was Sanitano and so a political analyst. But for now, Yama Ora and Estadadi of the MPP. Say John Dramani Mahama and Waka say John yesterday, John today, John forever. Now, what are our expectations? The Ghana man penyin so kasa kwasi ada.
ADAKABRI machia. Na machia we tiefo nyina. Mesre na wa aboa me kakra. Nran sensem a ra Mahama boss. Anshada antie mu yie. Na mantina sie yie. Me peke ne statement bi. I said the economy would have been managed better. I said things could have been different. Edru hona me pause kakra. Na me bisa me ho say. Yewura mampeni dada ode John Dramani Mahama no no okasa no. Na obi fofo. Na se niama bi ho ntiase mefa ono ana futu a se o mampani dada waye mampani danti na niama o raise ye no o can say things could have been done better na me madwene mu no nanka prescription now dey ban I started having a higher expectation the prescription no back and say yenye den yendi aduane a ya yedua ana ameboa na yendua de yedi sasa na we de mesre wo ya incremized and post increment and all that the time I'm ready kan a oti asem we ni is the usual rhetoric me in May to 2020 na COVID see no me can asem be on GTV morning show, breakfast show. And I can say, anytime there is a pandemic, there is a war, and now be a year of a global state, say, a year, you be di echire muchire beba. Me prescription ame de ma ye took Ura Mahama and Femi Nuni echire and San Odema. Let us go agriculture. Me da IMF am 1 billion. Me susu ye when I think another GTV show that put it in the productive sectors. And if you ask me which productive sectors, I will say agriculture. Because say a comba na ye wa aduane a eno de ye nim hwe kura Bible a kire yen. The lean years ne be di achire ansa na lean years ne be ban say aduane ne be bansa ana meboa exodus na yeti asem enti no we could have done that hona ebi amene ne be ya adwene say ebi a say you pushing more money into agriculture who say for the past 3 years in Suatopa afi kura no we are almost in November. Aka 2 days near around November, mo say within 3-4 days near around November. Now it's your air topa. So we could have had food. And now idea back one aboyen. But Ura Mahama na all can sem no. And sem na all kekano nanka eye niama obia wo Ghana ha bia Canada. Manti foforo ba akokra o. Ji say bia Ura ntina mesi obi mbo ame no. Ebia Ura saneta no ana of ADAKABRI no obi TBB.
Now size of government.
Who hasn't heard this before yet?
Yes, but it is not done.
The American Kosiane say, na me expect say mampani dada ono nso ne penso no ye ko ahohiahia mu a hwinsi wiase hwinsi ye emra na ye nka ne adum ya na e wo generator system owura kufo generator CCC ho ono Mahama na mu tiko wo ho na ye call dum so mu no na problem bia ma wiase nanso na wantumi amanage economy no wantumi anhwɛ saa nneɛma na ama wokania kɛkɛ yɛwura adakabre bɛtena na adwuma mu nna yi na nkakania yi si so a yɛnyinaa yɛde kasa ɔyɛ na adwuma ɛno na ɔyɛ didi no obi yɛ ne baba obi yɛ ne he couldn't manage it. But me catch us in the face of these global challenges, troubles were bebia last month. Fuel and running short ewo Germany. Didn't France go through a similar problem? Unam Ghana hawati say petrol shorty. Petrol no yamfa cedi nto. Ya di dollar neto. Na wako jomo ako hu say milk ni ho ana bibi ana niama ye kra ya di dollar na kra ba no ebia short ana. Because the importers ni exporters ni per dollar na o mine no fa kwan bia obetumi so e di make sure say wo ho ora adakabra oti hoyi na ni afikakra in terms of obehu what happened within the early 70s ni the late 60s edrumre bi wo mai mu nansa na obenu milk no ji say o di connection eto na ntuma aye ma me no mu frakra ye di connection eto and no more nekofa rollins no ku ni amaba ebaye. But we have a government in office in the face of all these challenges unko drugstore say o paracetamol anumu a ebi ni ho amaya kese no bebre are going through challenges onim de anti dollar na think say enya Ghana de no na America world over the dollar na be too strong. America is in crisis. My America na wusoro wo munza okaza US Army ba no undan kokomu nyina woso that on my mighty on mine no is in crisis.
On what?
Intino omo astati twisika the inflation not change who say inflation say omo enyo my America omo ni dollar na wudi na nka cedi ni edi ni ho na ye ne wo dollar nka my America no nka oni ho akere ne chen Ghana. I'm telling you. So there be am catch Nkrofo say Temitie Nkrofo ti se owura mahama nom any empenimphobia me expect say anka omunim de konkan e wa mamuo any amanyo ensemu a na me hu say Ghana has no alternative. Ye ni obi a ye betumi aka say say even at all fan say ye nanado kra ye we free so a na ye pe obi di amana ye mfa nkoma hwan ye wura mahama na ne nsam kekan wo hwa oti de ekoso oti world economy na ase media mas asem na me bi santi na me say me pe boafo no because media ma adwene ye me say he doesn't understand what is going on the world over.
Are you sure?
Me say wunji ndia in the face of the crisis petrol drew 16 cities. Your generators na ma okaniano they are still running. You rather kabre mesre wo. And I make say wo dia wani afikakra. Until all the challenges the world have faced, e bia na wo dia wan hu bia chen me.
Book no akan onani fibia.
What ninim dia konkan ma men kan sa. Wo be hu say emre Ghana no ansana nanado ba abedi ade. We are already running budget deficits. If you were doing some 40% budget deficit already
40%.
Time a problem umaye no nanado umaye no. Now we were having serious budget deficit.
Expectations.
Na say sabriya ya betina si. Na say problem we nyina aba. Now even in the face of the time machine see ye na ye running about 40% budget deficit. Na say see our budget no a shake de nanso niama running of mine no more mine gina ne nan so say ma sorry anopa na meba office na me kotu kaako na me nkosa line ana say me mfa me nante every me fie enko me office na menya petrol di aba no baby a dollar ni free ya de koto ye no
me to expectations on Sunday
media
Ghana mampanyine kasa
me boboso ba say nana danko akufo ado Ghana mampani ebegina ho Sunday media niama me pese metie eni so obema Ghana for arehemu say enya mo nko na atomo amansan nyina akwa sika ho akwa atwe babia ahokyere aba niama na eboa ye nyina no sesei no emma se de sese eba ye gitum nanso this one too shall pass media Sa areshemu no. Ena me ba no na metie of ADAKABRI. Asem bi ha me. Hwe. The media is making a big mistake. And I metie say who can be. Me ba ni nyina no. Me say me drew ha meka. The moment we keep trumpeting ena musha ade na betumi asi. Ena say the ade yi koyi. Say soldier ni bi nkofa tuo. Say obi sa ade na ye trumpeting no of ADAKABRI yan hwe yi a. Na ye de adwene bi to obi trim. Nipa boni wo wi ase o. Adwen boni wo nipa trim. Enso say de nansan ube fa ha na obi ka. Ubefa hana obika, ubefa hana obika. Says for some time now, no, you are drowning, start thinking no to some extent.
Again, a man Ghana panini, a sort of assurance from the Ghana forces. Emma John Dramani Mahama so a support to that core and ra.
It is the information. Let me tell you, there's one thing. My background your finance. It is information that drives the market. It didn't have what problem. With that saying now, so
the or no so occur into that arena
because information need call round. Yeah, tisa nkrofo yeah, tisa nkrofo ka nti na me ka say adwenboni wo nipa trim na nipa boni wo wiase. Enti no said ye ne keka ne koso no me de ha me because
we say question be say otie de atofo sen kan ya na na asama na atofo sen kan say eye no krea what could go through obi be kan say nipa boni ni bitrim.
Okay,
no krea sa de ne ye de sia na ana ya kan no krea
who say me start here no me kan say niama ne bi wo ho no mo a they are déjà vu ya kan we have labeled them last 2 weeks. You see last 2 weeks on one of the multimedia platforms, the Saturday program. The video is going around. He spoke extensively on these things. They are a challenge. We are, as a country, as the world, the globe itself. And Ghana, enti na me ka say yen situate problem ni yie sanka ye kai na nka obia ho atono na nka Ghana fo nko aho ahohiahia mu are taking care of it would have been different, but we are seeing nyina the economy have shrunk.
Okay,
enti the American consiane say utie de Martin Pebu kai on that show no na utie de nkrofo keka na say nipa boni biti baby a adwene ebeba ni trim ni say hey, the ground is ripe for action. Young rather, I am expecting the president on Sunday or Bekasa to encourage the people of Ghana. No young country yen say wa unimu ade adua unimu efuo ya ye bi wa unimu we ye bi wa utumi ye adwuma bi na wa wo ye bibia wo export ya ye okan ye no okan about state farms. I am not a fan of it. My father used to be one of the managers at Gazelle. I know how Gazelle collapsed. I know how a lot of the state agencies collapsed. And I'm telling you that.
What do you be that?
Oh, just I be at the banchi be me DCC me feature on and met me akase me do be.
What do you banchi da?
Chominye food.
What do you banchi da?
Yeah, me do be that.
Would be how many months banchi buy?
Me within the area no cry within 4 months near to 2 years. Yeah.
I didn't amount area.
Oh, where I am a feature. When I moved there,
I saw it.
Oh yes.
It's one in Yamawuni.
The point I am making, and I say,
me and Enria Adriane now Brabidi.
That's exactly what I just said.
I'm asking you.
Me.
Mine in Riadriana Brabidi.
Oh wow, you will do it easier than me. Yeah, no. Maybe to me I manage something else. Me manage. Let us put our expertise to work.
Okay.
The American
okay. Said. Yeah, many I said yes. By appeal be answer.
Don't add me.
Okay. May appeal be.
I wish you don't touch.
Yes.
That thing.
Okay. Let's forget about it.
Wished.
Okay. Na mini I can be say.
But say ani asatwa so.
Tie oha echi ponk no. Needs FM.
cool, fresh and trendy with a no look. Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you flow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized feel different. Always think specialized. Special Ice Natural Mineral Water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hey, catch it. Listen in here. And you ma beto to dia me baba no hwade no. Hwem so betumi a. Hey, asew. Hey, now beka. Ya John to mami ensa duku potomanto. This way chocolate drink. Na kan wo hwe afibia so beri ni waware ne a. This way chocolate drink. Na kan sia. Oh, asew. Wo den kan no tumu ho. Me be mo anu nsu hye kura dia ka ho. Wo hwade wapi ho. O ka sa batete e da fom ho. This way chocolate drink.
Crash up a baba worry.
Aso,
ye fear said this way chocolate drink, ya sorry, no pan on yenum. Ye bishop free genome no snack. Ye nya ho ho anu ye de serve womo. Ye did we a pebibia bogu ya de soa. This way chocolate drink in yenum. And this one what's anu a he se kire wom koko wom prick wom bibia wom ade wo hia ni so se.
This way chocolate drink.
De wo hia ani so se.
FDA ahwe se adwede nkratoe mo agya to se eye.
Qatar 2022, here we come. The Black Stars of Ghana, Sayabio, Germany 2006, Yakoi, Peace, 104.3, Yadi commentary, Ebrel, and watching Yakwa South Africa, Brazil, Qatar Druso, Yasanko for commentary, Ram, Ediabra Peace FM, Hello FM, Tiafoina, Ankran Konya Jodifua, Mupasa Muboma de Tondia Hudero, oh, Bumra Peace FM, Namufam Humba Bata World Cup 2022, Qatar, Yadi live commentary, I move Ram Emauno, na Yasan for what Tonio Mamma, your baby walk up, no, now you're defoe, Ghana for your defoe, move on to Mamma Peace FM, Dianwe, now you're for Qatar 2022 walk up, no so, and Tomamu. So when you go, so before Quenya so, now what boy did Tondia Hudera, Bra Peace FM office, and a year, Nayama packager, Ebema Niomano, and Sutokra.
Utie oha echi ponkno Needs FM. Utie oha echi ponkno Needs FM.
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a no look. Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. You right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you flow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized feel different. Always think Special Ice Natural Mineral Water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hey, catch it. Listen in here. And you ma beto to dia me baba no hwade no. Hwem so betumi a. Hey, asew. Hey, now beka. Ya John to mami ensa duku potomanto. This way chocolate drink. Na kan wo hwe afibia so beri ni waware ne a. This way chocolate drink. Na kan sia. Oh, asew. Wo den kan no tumu ho. Me be mo anu nsu hye kura dia ka ho. Wo hwade wapi ho. O ka sa batete e da fom ho. This way chocolate drink.
Crash up a baba worry.
Aso,
ye fear said this way chocolate drink, ya sorry, no pan on yenum. Ye bishop free genome no snack. Ye nya ho ho anu ye de serve womo. Ye did we ni e pebibia bogu ya de soa. This way chocolate drink in yenum. And this one what's anu a he se kire wom koko wom prick wom bibia wom ade wo hia ni so se.
This way chocolate drink.
De wo hia ani so se.
FDA ahwe se adwede nkratoe mo agya to se eye.
Utie oha echi ponkno Needs FM.
Neat 100.9 FM Suni. Na ene Friday, October 28, 2022. I'm just about 3:45. 4 minutes each to you lot. And then that 4 minutes, we talk about what is on your chest. Dear pan, your man 4 minutes. Obeka, a bit me, a man, or my morning, you know, at me and Faso also. Yeah, me and way.
But that's a penny. I'm say, and running meet you. Now I got disappointed along the line somewhere about say, Ubi bo nkurase forma ne yeah entity ye ne mo now what's mo ba ko trans aka these are the avenues for us to say it opinion nka say ya also about politics we are politicians we must talk about it nti san konya na mo kosi no fa I'm disappointed my yanka opinion who say wanka say ye but of course I will not touch there now. Offer MPP for sorry, a moment trying to say troubles will be beer. We are troubles will be beer. Yes, troubles will be beer. But solutions is will be beer. And until a young coupon and my drain to ye trim. Say young drain, na young fine idea, beboy young say. Opening and then another danko kufuado. Resources are wunya a bambi and when resources are channel. If you want to do proper comparison, now one analyze the developmental effort. Which is another with you see papa. And who here see a becker. Then you can say he doesn't subscribe to state farms. Look, the government is the biggest spender of the taxpayers' money. And what we are saying is say the who fee say a man for the best of my dream say your friend is saying I buy you money any be a do state farm young shesu begu and uncrophobia you're making a mistake. You use one single day to employ 100,000 people, dubbed NAPCO employees, Nation Builders Corp. For that BMBisa say which part of the nation did they build apart from feeding on the nation? At the end of the day, these 100,000 people are going home. Can you imagine something? They just 20,000 of the NAPCO students or NAPCO trainees. Eko no for her. And a military a supervisor yes, Mundria brew, Mundria emo, Mundria beans. Ekreji bia mobayano, more dear 30%. A bind dear a be a 60%. 10% now can be a de ma soldier for year or more almost spend one more time. A boa amaya harvesting no man. And can offer a brave big dear. Now you are banning importation of a Bruno. Uncle Bro, something so cheap in this country. Offer we have silos, they are going waste. What we are saying is about the boat and 1 year the boat buying and American say His Excellency the former president, your Becca said we should indigenize our consumption and whatever it is now. The young man no bar. He should come and implement it. I also want to see the Bebonachi. But I was to see the only thing that can take us of this pit any serious agriculture. In fact, America will say almost normal high. No, the normal yo member. I bet to me acquire with a 31 million population. If you want to do proper analysis, America, they don't have it. Look at their population. Just opposite to your population, 31 million, thereabout. Natural mineral resources say war. A friend say assassin daha. In the north, Nigeria for na beji assassin war or more a bro. Big time power are exported out of the country. Yes, in the northern part of the country. Assassin guho anko for ye anko for crab mabeji. Abang, you have the control over our lands to ensure see a better for power. Irrigation system already exists. Your only duty is to revamp them. But be a Beni Hono, these days technology abounds. Into you can drill a hole and then put some, how do you call it, solar panels around to draw the water to irrigate the system. aban aye na adwen say we would rather import and as ye beko ko bobosia. See ye see ye beko so import na say be bobosia da bia dia. And ye baby ebegina na hani ebegina. I have advised Guta say yes a trade union. Most to stop and I say more call for the dollar rate to and I say Ghana city to appreciate. Anka se it is time for you also to set aside some funds. Namun go into agriculture. Namun no ma bi mu amonim say yen crofo no ekraba no. Mo anka se mu nua oha na mo nton ma mo crofo no at a cheaper price. Omampan kufo the presidential special initiative buy. At the time I saw say large quantities. I don't know what has happened to that project. Abaya who buy after kufone and you beyond the 2 so and so mo 2 so machines ben or more buy to ensure say you better than the look offer 4
minutes naso.
The year 2000 conclusion. I put my small money in MANSO oil. Offer after 10 years me ko share investment na me ye no. Esika na eda ho no. At the time, 200,000 Ghana cedis. How much was it then? And I'm the shame as now more shares. 10 years after me and offer, she ni so. I even regretted investing in. But meanwhile, Singapore and Malaysia, they are using MEC to turn their countries around.
Okay,
we should invest in agriculture. It will help us.
Right.
Mahama small say we should
4 minutes now they can say
we should eat what we grow. That is the fundamentals of the economy. It me edua ni mani dia e seed ni e be stabilize the adwuma e be ba be ma nima atoto akwan mu. The only thing we have to do is to go into agriculture. The government also work as me say now people have been saying it ya tia say kan ne de adwuma anka e man sa nti ye ka bia ne de bia ye adwuma amaniema atumi asesa we ma de ka se ye koso aye ne enim ne ye pese ye ya ne ye ye se kwa agriculture se me de bi ntumi ye se me de mi ntumi e man mu ana be ye din nti it is important we eat what we grow. That's
my yenye correction be Ghana ha Nana Danko Akufo-Addo say okay I kasa offer me can say Ghana doesn't lack laws, Ghana doesn't lack policy. The policy no kwa bebre growing what we eat. Nana Dubai first policy first plant, eat, sell some. Anameboa. Second, in the agri sector now moka now mundia crops, 3 crops na yen export it for cash. Anameboa. Until ye cashew. Ya set it up even cashew boards BBBB other non-traditional exports. Ya ye border omu behwe so. But niama we ya ye kanyina. Ye nipa na ye wo man nim no. Na ye besomu na ye di adwane. We take it and run with it. Sa ya nya ne sa ye di ya no beka enkosiaga. Look, I will repeat it. Me ameti hoy. So we say yenko finance state farms a. Meka che say unim owu a hwe na. But say ye wo nipa bi a omo wo man yi mu a omo de omo wo nim de wo sa field no wa ye bi da na ebi a ne sika sem na wo fom nti na ontumi nye ne se de ese se oye no a aban pesika nso nasene onye adwuma no oye yi a ombetua back. In Germany there is a PID. Eye womo a owo nim de bi a fabra sa aban hwe na eye na ebe employing crofo ye be ma sika na fa ye enti aboa nipa bebre sa ye koye ne se ye tenase na ye nyina ya aka ye minu asaneta no betina hai nyama oka ye nyina ye kama minu ya aka fe de mahama akeka ye amese ni nyina ya tia abre no ye nyina ya aka ne fe be se nipa amfa na wamfa nya adwuma ye nyina ye nsa besi fom Ghana fo amutie me sremo ensemu a ekoso wa hama obi anada wo se ye Ghana ha nko a unua bi wa abrochire a frani bisa no se America na wo ne hot sen obi wo UK abisa no obi babia nipa wo bia mu bisa wo mo wiase nyina nanso wo de advantage a wo ne se wo oman a ne ma ne ɔmampanin no make sure say ahokyere no wɔ hɔ de nanso sɛ wo fa sika sɛ wo kɔgyina kwan ho a wobɛnya nkran dɔko no atɔ na wanya paano atɔ na wanya gare kura atɔ akɔdi aman bi nya ne saa nti nya abotrɛ tawakuma to yem na the country is doing everything say beya ɔman ne bɛ sɔre agyina ne nan so I said it's a bad democracy is way better than the best military rule makai wie me da
right young ambassador Emma Ora and Saturday of the MPP and Ora Ivan Samu of the NDC. In fact, he's an aspiring deputy general secretary of the MPP. Yao Asanitano and a political analyst. Sabri will see the story there. Na Ulako Kumaika near the Chibijano. Echina, Ewo Asanti Jabin. Mancheri or say Ajimai, the maestro. Nese and Anasa Ajimai. And I Yakwakonum Sikasa. In the third year, Uti announcement no. As a great true sribo, Asanti Jambio Mahini. On a Nachama Mahima. Omo ena ehwe ama asonafo no asabifo no aba abenum sikasa ti Asante Dwaben ena hye no koso same old weekend ya 29th of October ya ena uko sechire kwa aman ono so bema richum a bema richum osene dot ye no weekend yi ena eno so ya tutuo ede aba. The following weekend, also November 5, and someone new Amadonko, and also so now what da ewo Ufodia Asokore, Nijuada, and Sushen, and also so dotty ye, or you can see, inti Yanshan and Sway, Yanko Jabbing, Yanko such the Jamas, such the Quamine. After the following week, Yako Kofudia, Yako Sushen. For now, dear, Jerry, Osajimai, and I have Vicinity Neat 100.9 FM. From ADAKABRI Mamudu, Usiuma. Can you call your Damiado? And now, we'll share my baby a coy. Na, and I create free, as so Ebuchidom. Abraham Bankro, Mara, Michi, Mafa, and then I have Safo. Ena omo share Emma Bibia Eko Kama Agriculture Production. DJ Foreigner any Olako Kumaki Debe Coffee. Omo Debe Jojo.